Licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Okay, there we go. I almost pushed cancel on my broadcast because sometimes those things can happen. We are live. I love Wednesdays. Hey, Pep Kite. Nice to have you here. Oh man, what a crazy day, right? Oh man, look. So anyway, this is we're essentially getting. I thought, yeah, the FOMC meeting happened at exactly on the UTC clock. It's 1900. And we went up a little bit, just the typical fake out before what really happens. I think what's happening now is Jerome Powell is up there just hammering the markets. It's just, you know, the interest rates came in as expected, and what happens next? He opens his mouth and scares the crap out of everybody. And I think he has to because the economy and all the stats and figures are doing one thing, but he kind of has to scare people into thinking that it's worse than it is so that prices soften even more and everything kind of works out that way. Anyway, this is the 1 minute chart, and I'm comparing Bitcoin on top with the S&P SPY on the bottom, and just kind of watching that thing play around. This was our day since open. Bitcoin pretty flat and boring. We kind of peaked up a little bit right before, and now we're dying. We're falling off. So I will just kind of hit a couple of items. I just wanted to remind you that my home base is cryptoinfluencers.com. Really cool to have some people join in the pro channel. But this is where the free channel is. Just click here and you can see all my stuff. I upload here first. So that's one thing. I also wanted to mention that I did close some more trades. So yesterday I had a pretty long string. I'm closing quite a few items. Oh, hey, look, I'm live. Anyway, let's see. Where's my? Here, let me just go to let me click on the initial one. So Solana was the highest percent gain of all the closes that I did today. 11,000%. Have you ever even seen anything like that before? So anyway, at the Pro channel, I'm teaching people how to manage risk. And I'm managing risks through leverage, as crazy as that might sound. We're still making smart decisions, but we're not putting up all of our money. And so anyway, this is what happens when you put in a trade that you can handle the downside on. We know exactly what the risk is. We know what to do when things go wrong. This is all stuff that that's part of the strategy. But when things go right, you almost have no capital at risk, and you just take the gains. And so that way you can keep more of your profits offline and minimal exchange exposure, and then you get fun stuff like this that you can point to. So anyway, Solana was awesome close. 1 inch algo had a good percent gain. Comp was good. Near. Ethereum, this was a tough one. Ethereum, I was on the fence because I really wanted it to just, even if it dropped, I wanted to kind of average in and just add another position. But I just feel like markets are getting soft, and I just needed to kind of exit out of some of these. So I took the profits, which was really good trade. That was nice. SHIB was a decent percent. That was a nice move. CeeLo, Clay, yeah, I think that was it. But anyway, you'll have to come over and check us out if you are curious about trading and how all that works. So markets being nice and insane because of all of the news and everything. So we'll see how this ends up turning out. But let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's go to the daily chart. And this entire time, we've been waiting for some kind of pullback of some kind. This, in my mind, is all one move. The whole thing is one move. This bearish engulfing candle is the first sign of any kind of a turnaround. And yesterday's candle was green but weak. And I think a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen with the aftermath of the FOMC, and markets will take a minute to digest that. But the other thing that we've been watching out for is, let me head over to here. We've been looking at the Wyckoff accumulation. Our 4-hour bar is about to close in 22 minutes. This is our wild FOMC meeting aftermath. But we are still in our channel. The bottom of our channel is 22,500. The top of the channel is 23,270. And we've ranged in this area for quite a while. Long enough that our 50 period moving average has moved in. We did get into a yellow zone here, flipped back to green. The move this morning, so this is when I do my pro channel at 9 o'clock Mountain Time. The move this morning pulled us back into the yellow zone. Typically, when you go from green to yellow, that's your warning sign that you're there. So we have not seen a really strong yellow zone on the 4-hour for Bitcoin. Just a little touch here, and now we're just starting this one. So there's a little bit up for debate on how that will actually play out. Ethereum has been in the yellow zone for quite a while. And this was part of my decision to end up closing my Ethereum gain. It was a good trade. This is sort of what Bitcoin has done. We've dipped in and dipped out. And now we're kind of wondering what's going to happen. But Ethereum's a little more progressed. This one has seen a lot more weakness. The 100 period average has now crossed above the 50. So we have a bearish close on here. So I can't say for sure that I've got everything right. I can't tell the future, but I know what the probabilities are generally. And in general, when this type of situation happens, we're looking for some kind of a markdown. And it's not a permanent thing. I'm not bearish on crypto, and I'm not bearish on Bitcoin or Ethereum. As a trader, I look at these things and I think it's a temporary thing. But moving to the daily has a golden cross coming up on Ethereum. This is our 50. It'll cross above the 200. I'm just hoping for a healthy pullback of just a touch to the 200. It wouldn't be that big of a move, and it would be very beneficial for the long-term growth of the price. We don't want to just try as hard as we can to keep going up, because the bulls get fatigued, and then when you finally do have a bear market, it pops down. So that's kind of what I'm seeing out here in the market. Bitcoin is still flattening out. I don't see a whole lot. We haven't seen a move by bears yet. So we're waiting for this. We have the 50 and the 200 now crossing soon. It should be this week that we see the golden cross. Normally we would pull into the cross, and if I zoom out a little bit, you can see how the weekly cross is about to happen. So the weekly 50 is about to cross down below the 200. This is a death cross, and I don't know what the outcome of a death cross is on Bitcoin. We've never seen one. So the title of our video today is how to take profits. Let me see. I don't even know where I put my my thing. Yeah, so we're talking about the smart place to take profits when a market is starting to get weak like this, especially in the crypto market. Um, the thing that weakens first are alts. They always seem to do a much higher percentage move than the big boys. Whatever Bitcoin does, Ethereum does a little bit more, and whatever Bitcoin and Ethereum do, the alts do even more. So it is pretty wild. So when you start seeing a market soften, um, the way I take profits in general is that I'm looking for little exits on the way up. If you can sell into the greed, you always have liquidity because there's a lot more excitement, and it's a lot easier to sell to greedy buyers than it is to sell to scared buyers. When you want to sell and everyone else wants to sell, there's usually not much of a market there. Order books get thin on the sell side, and so really, if you're in a market where you have a lot of where you have questionable liquidity and that kind of thing, you want to kind of put benchmarks out there that give you an edge. On the Pro Channel, we're very specific about it, but that's the general idea. You want to be looking for places to take profit when things are hot. And then the same is true on the way down. When things are at their worst and people are scared and they're panic selling, that's usually where we get these selling climaxes. If you look at the FTX drop, things dropped so fast, and once this knife kind of hit the ground, there was the worst of it was almost over. I mean, there was a lot of oscillations, a lot of depression while we waited for the averages to come down and everything. But at that moment of greatest selling, it's so easy to buy. You have all the liquidity you want. I'm not a proponent of buying into stuff like this unless I can really tell that things are insane and there are good levels. It always comes down to risk management and position size. But anyway, when we're looking at a market that is softening up, there's always another chance. So in this case, what most often happens is that in a normal structured market, you'll have flips from support to resistance and from resistance to support. This is the S&P, and it didn't really do it really well, but there are a couple of examples where we have resistance here that flipped to support here. And then here we had a peak and then a little drop here, and then this tail intersects with this. So there's kind of these handoffs. So whenever a market shows signs of putting in a serious top, most often it'll return back to those levels. So if for example, this market decided that it was going to head up really high, and we kept going, the fact that we've consolidated at this level for so long means that if we had another move and then showed weakness, we'd probably come back to this level. So it's okay to take profits here when you've got a good profitable trade in your pocket, because worst case scenario, if you've missed it, most often markets will return back and give you a second shot at it. It all comes down to being patient. So if you can be patient enough, you can usually get a second chance on almost every trade. What one mistake people do make is they will say, oh yeah, if the market ever came, like let's say to the 200, if the market ever hit the 200, I would totally buy. Well, if you missed buying here, and then it comes all the way down to here, there's so much bearish momentum in the news and in the kind of in the chatterverse where everyone's just talking about how we're dead, it's going lower and whatever. A lot of people don't have the guts to buy it when it actually does come. And then the other mistake people make is that people are like, oh man, I can't believe I missed buying at 16,500. The next time it gets there, there's no question, I'm totally going to buy. But if this dropped all the way to 16.5, this would be the worst looking chart ever. You would never want to buy a coin that looked like this. And so having an arbitrary number is not always the most helpful. You kind of need to watch for the actual production in the chart and kind of see how that works. So anyway, that's a pretty good overview about how to take profits in a market that is softening, and we are softening. There's no question about it. We softened a tiny bit here. We softened a lot more here. We have some good FOMC data, so today is kind of a wild card. We'll see how things work out. But even though I'm bearish on Bitcoin in the short term, I'm bullish in the long term. And if it just so happens that over the next few days we do reach up above this high, I'm looking for a pullback, and this is not a technical pullback yet. And I'll tell you why. This was our first attempt at a pullback. So this is our higher low. This is our second attempt at a pullback. This low is higher than this low. And even though we had a bearish engulfing candle and we had a pretty strong indication that there are bears in our market and that they're getting stronger, this low here is still higher than this low. There's no visible change in the momentum of this move. So if we do continue to move up, there is then, this 200-week moving average is going to be pretty strong resistance, and we still don't have a response from bears. We've had a couple of attempts now, but we have to see a move lower than this in order to really, this is too close to price action. If we were immediately to go down a little bit, it wouldn't matter. We have to get below this to turn this thing upside down. So lots to look at. I'm always looking at things from a technical standpoint. I love to read candles a lot for kind of a gut check on things. I look at a lot of averages, but I don't waste my time with a ton of indicators because many of the indicators will show bullish or bearish results just based on the price action. There's a lot to be read from just looking at the charts and managing your risk. So that's pretty much it. I have some company coming over though, so I'm gonna kind of keep it short or whatnot. But if you guys have any questions or anything, you can always pop them in chat, or you can always add it to a comment on one of the videos. I'm always looking at those to make sure. David, cool, nice to have you here. So yeah, that's just about everything. Today is just a day where markets are getting a little softer, and it just gives me a chance to exit some positions that are in the green, and I'm taking that opportunity. If the market changes and whatever, then we add new positions and we roll from there. So David says he didn't sell yet. Well, that is, yeah, it's kind of you just have to risk. You have to manage your risk. It's one of those things where you sit and you ask yourself the question, would I be more upset at selling here and it keeps going up, or would I be more upset if I didn't sell and it kept going down? And at a certain point, your gut gives you your risk reward intuition can kind of give that to you. When you know the market's really high and and it drops, you're like, I knew it was high. Why? I was so greedy. I couldn't believe that I was kind of blind to that. If you kind of ask yourself the question, if it was, on a move like this, it's another kind of litmus test on how you're doing. Spencer S., thanks for joining chat. Look forward to the next buying opportunity. That's exactly right. If we get any kind of a pullback, it's time to really move in, and I'm looking forward to it too. Unbelievable move. All of this move in one shot is pretty incredible. But I'm patiently waiting for a healthy pullback, and when it comes, then I have a reason to trade. Every time you make a trade, you have to have a reason. if you just feel like it, you'll get wrecked, because you can't trust your emotions very much when you're dealing with money. You have to have some pretty good rules in place, or a ton of self-control, and stuff like that can't be, it takes years of practice to learn and figure out. All right, well, I won't keep going on. That's pretty much the content for today. Thanks for joining me on my little journey here as I trade and mess around. It's a lot of fun. And thanks for joining the Pro channel for some of you who have. Let's see, just a couple more comments I saw. Pepe says, I always wonder whose actions the market reflects. Actors on the scene are changing, probably big institutions coming in and manipulating. The institutions and people that have kind of dominated the stock market, they have a ton of money and can move prices around. So a lot of the things that we see in stocks will start showing up in Bitcoin, and it has happened over time. So very, very interesting as things evolve. All right, guys, have an awesome day. I will catch you on tomorrow. I'm always trying to do a free video every day, and so I'll try to keep doing that. And then pros, we always have our video at 9 o'clock. All right, see you guys. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.